Hello everyone, you know what it is, I'm back at it again, and this time we're doing something a bit different. So we talk a lot about like fat acceptance, that type of thing. So I thought today, why not talk about like the opposite end of the spectrum? Why not go into some of like the kind of, I guess, quote unquote skinny talk kind of side of stuff? Because I've heard this name thrown around a lot. Apparently she's controversial or whatever. Like she's been banned from TikTok like a lot of times and shit like that. So today I wanted to have a quick look at Liv Schmidt because again she's been banned on TikTok and everything. I've had to pull up her Instagram. I'm gonna go through a couple of her videos and see just how controversial they are or whatever. Because I mean, don't get me wrong. I think being really underweight is just as bad as being really overweight, right? I think most people can agree with that. But I do think it's a bit wrong that TikTok are banning creators that are saying, oh, it's okay to be skinny, but they're not banning creators that are blatantly coming out and saying, oh, it's okay to be massively morbidly fucking obese. But hey ho, double standards aside, let's have a look at some of these videos and see if they were right to actually ban her or not. Because so far, from what I've seen, I don't know if the topic in general deserves to be banned outright, but I don't know. Maybe after seeing a couple of videos, I'll change my mind, but I doubt it. Also, I just wanted to preface real quick, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, so a lot of this is just my opinion, so don't take it too much to heart. Take it with a pinch of salt and everything like that. Okay, so as we can see, got the page up here on my Instagram. You can follow me at halfajojo.117. I originally had one just called Half a JoJo, but for some fucking reason it got banned out of nowhere. Even though I just opened it up and it got banned like the day after. I was like, the fuck, I ain't even posted anything yet, but hey ho. Anyways, we're gonna be taking a look at some of the recent-ish kind of videos here. So this one here kind of caught my eye when I was kind of scrolling through. I watched like the first couple seconds or so, but apparently in this one she has the like kind of cure to being fat and unhappy. So we like to talk about being fat and unhappy all the time on this channel. So let's get into it, see if we agree or disagree, that type of thing.
I just watched this video that changed how I see everything. And it's literally the cure to being fat, unhappy, and stuck
Go on,
hating your body.
go on, teach us, preach to us.
The guy who was talking about it in the video said something that really hit me. Most people stay stuck in their life because they are thinking about the effort, not the payoff.
Okay, well, I mean to be honest, so far I can that's kind of facts. A lot of people would be like, "Oh, I want to lose weight, blah blah blah," but I can't be bothered to track my calories. I can't be bothered to go for a run. I can't be bothered to lift weights. I can't be bothered to do this, do that, do the necessary steps. So yeah, I can see that. I've been there. I've definitely been one of those people who've been like, yeah, I can't be bothered. I don't have the energy, don't have the time, blah blah blah. So yeah, I can see that so far. Not entirely wrong.
I'll say it again and apply it to weight loss. You're thinking about how hard it is going to be to lose weight, the effort, instead of thinking
Yeah,
about how good you're going to.
yeah, I do agree. If you keep thinking about how hard it's going to be, then you're never going to do it. At the end of the day, it's kind of like even with education and stuff like that, right? I'm notoriously kind of just always been shit when it comes to education. I'm not gonna lie, it's not really my thing. Even now, I really struggle with like academic kind of settings and stuff like that. If I'm being completely for real, if we're gonna put it in terms of like academia, if you keep telling yourself, "No, I'm not gonna be able to do this exam. I'm not gonna be able to do this assessment or this assignment or whatever the fuck," then of course, you're not gonna do it because you're gonna keep having it kind of in your head that you're putting yourself down and you're not going to be able to do it, blah, blah, blah. But if you actually just fucking give it a try, you might actually get a pretty decent score. You might be all right, even if you don't get a perfect grade or whatever. You might just be all right. You might just about pass. It's about not putting yourself off by saying, oh, it's going to be hard, so I'm not even going to bother doing it in the first place, kind of thing.
Feel when you actually do. You're
Yeah, 100%.
overestimating the pain and underestimating the reward. You're so focused on how much effort it's going to take to work out, to portion your food, to say no. You forget what you get on the other side. Like instead of thinking about
You know what? So far, I haven't had like anything really kind of wrong to say. I mean, if, again, I don't know much about this girl, so I don't know whether this is the kind of thing she's saying all the time or not. But if this is literally what she's saying like 90% of the time, then I do not fucking understand whatsoever how this is banned. But fucking people being like, "Oh, it's perfectly fine to be fat, take up space, and everything like that," is like completely accepted on platforms like TikTok. But this is just one video, so let's finish it, and then we're gonna get into some more and see potentially what the fuck could be so controversial or whatever.
How amazing you're going to feel when you wake up and love your body. Just being able to wake up confident in your body. You're stuck thinking, ugh, about my
Yeah.
morning walk. Instead of imagining yourself in those clothes that finally feel right.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, so far, again, I'd like to reiterate, I can't see anything wrong. It's true, if you keep putting everything off, keep thinking about, oh, this is rough, like, I can't be fucking bothered, or if you keep putting yourself off thinking, like, oh, this is going to be so fucking hard, or getting up to go for a walk, like she said, or lifting weights, or going for a run, going for a bike ride, or it's too much effort, then you're never going to get anything done. I mean, don't get me wrong, even to like lose weight and be in good shape. I mean, obviously, if you want to be muscular, you need to do some sort of workout. And if you want to be like incredibly lean, you need to do some sort of workout. But if you just want to be like an average kind of build, an average shape, you don't need to work out like every day. You don't need to run, walk, lift weights or anything like that. You just need to watch what you're eating, that type of thing. And in fact, 90% of your weight loss or some ridiculous number like that is purely by diet alone. Like the weight you lose via exercise isn't actually that much in the grand scheme of things. It just kind of helps you, it bolsters it and everything like that. And especially, it makes your physique naturally look better and things like that. The more you kind of put on more muscle mass and things like that, you start to fill out a bit more and you look better shape and everything like that, even though realistically the weightlifting and the running and things like that aren't really netting you that much weight loss in comparison to your diet and how much that's helping you lose weight, if that makes sense. Essentially, yeah, working out helps. Working out, I do definitely recommend it is better for your health and everything, longevity and things like that, but you do not need to explicitly work out to lose weight. It just helps a lot and everything like that. And it also, again, makes you look better in the long run if you put on muscle mass and stuff like that, etc., so on and so forth.
And fit right. You're fixated on how annoying it is to cook or eat something healthy.
Hmm.
And so you do nothing, you stay stuck because your brain tricks you into thinking the cost is actually higher than it actually is.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's true. Like, the more you keep thinking about affording healthy food and stuff like that, the more you tell yourself, oh, it's expensive to eat healthy, or I don't have the time, or I can't be bothered to get up and cook something high protein or not as high calorie, blah blah blah, the usual bullshit, then of course you're going to put it off and you're never going to do it and you're going to keep eating the same things that are putting you down in the first place. So yeah, 100% I agree. So far she's been spitting facts and I completely agree with this. Like, it's only then when you start to push yourself out of your comfort zone kind of thing do you start to change. And everyone can agree with that, right? I mean, we all struggle in our own ways of getting out of the comfort zone and stuff like that. Some of us struggle to quit our old job to get a new one and stuff like that. Some of us struggle to get up and start working out, things like that. We all have our own struggles, but the minute you kind of push yourself to do it, the easier it gets in the long term, 100%.
When in reality, the payoff is 10 times better and bigger. When I started my journey, I thought the only thing I would get is a smaller body. But I finally feel comfortable at.
But I do want to preface, she said getting a smaller body, not everyone wants that, not everyone needs that, I want to be smaller, in terms of body fat percentage and everything like that, but as long as you're healthy and in good shape and everything like that, you do not need to be skinny or whatever. I just need to kind of put that out there because not everyone is trying to be skinny. Not everyone wants to be kind of like supermodel kind of proportions. A lot of people just want to be kind of average or, maybe even athletic built, things like that. I'm trying to be kind of in between athletic and kind of built at the same time. I'm trying to be in a pretty good shape. I'm trying to look good, but I'm not trying to be skinny or whatever. But everyone has their own goal, and I ain't mad at it, just as long as it's not an unhealthy amount of skinny.
Work. Finally stop changing my outfits 20 times. Finally feel comfortable in my own skin. But the payoff was so much bigger than that. I built a life I didn't know existed. I built a community of women who celebrate me instead of sabotaging me. I wake up proud of myself. I trust myself around food and desserts. I love the girl I see in the mirror. Not because she's perfect, but because she's disciplined in all aspects of my life. And it doesn't help that the public makes getting skinny and losing weight seem miserable.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Don't get me wrong, being in a calorie deficit for a long time is fucking miserable. I am not going to sugarcoat it. It's not fun. But you can break it up with maintenance breaks. You can break it up with things like that, and etc. etc. You don't need to constantly be on a deficit like the whole time because it will get miserable. So you can break it up every here and there. Keep things fresh. Keep you from going fucking insane. Because Lord knows, because obviously I started really overweight, right? I was morbidly obese. I was 150 kilograms. At one point, I was probably even 160. I mean, completely for real. I didn't count it back then. Didn't weigh myself on the scales when I was at my biggest, so it could have been worse. But I started cutting from like February 2024 or something like that. So almost 2 years I've been cutting, almost like a year and 7 months or some shit like that. I can't even remember how I can't remember how many, but I stopped cutting um last month because I've kind of gotten down to a weight that I want to stick around, and I'm kind of toying around with kind of recomping slash lean bulking or whatever the fuck to put on more muscle mass and things like that to look better in the long run. Because at the moment, I've lost a lot of weight, but I've got a bit of loose skin. I've still got a little bit of belly fat and things like that I want to get rid of. So putting on more muscle mass naturally will bulk out my frame a bit more, make the body fat kind of shed the body fat due to your metabolism becoming higher as you put on more muscle mass and things like that, and also filling out the loose skin and everything as much as I can without having to go down a surgery route or anything like that, which, I don't know how bad it is yet. When I fully lose the belly fat, I guess, oh, now, but, I'm just waffling now. But basically, yeah, being in a constant calorie deficit for years and years and months on end is kind of miserable. And I do kind of recommend every here and there to find out your maintenance values and stick to that for a couple of weeks every here and there to kind of break it up to keep yourself from going insane. Because sometimes you do want to eat like a bit more. It doesn't have to be an insane amount. Don't eat like a dickhead. Don't eat like it's your last fucking day on earth and you're gonna just consume everything in sight or whatever. But it does help break things up and it does help you keep from going completely mad. 100%.
It's this torturous, restrictive life. It's not, it should be normal.
I mean, it can be, again, like I said, um, it can be kind of torturous if you do it prolonged amount of time, like for years and years on end. Like I did it for, again, like I said, like a year and a half, year and 6, 7 months, or however the fuck long it's been. I can't think of it at the top of my head right now. Um, but yeah, it can be. It's not like, don't get me wrong, it's not like complete and utter fucking torture. It's not like someone's pulling a toe off or anything like that. It's not that bad, but it can get you feeling a bit miserable, a bit low energy, a bit tired, a bit like, oh fuck, for fuck's sake. I just want a little bit more food so I have a bit more energy and things like that. But it's not like you're being fucking waterboarded or anything like that. It's not that extreme. But 100%. Like I said, I do recommend splitting it up every here and there with maintenance breaks and everything like that. But I do agree, um, it should be normal, especially if you're trying to lose weight. Obviously, calorie deficit is how you achieve weight loss. It's all about calories in, calories out, blah blah blah. We all know this by now, hopefully, anyway. So yeah, it is quite normal, and it shouldn't be kind of villainized that, oh, I need to eat less to lose weight. Oh fuck, who would have known? Oh shit, I'm not constantly fucking hinging on food and losing weight. Oh shit, who would have thought, you know? But, anyway,
It's not common, but it should be normal. And that's exactly why the skinny society works. Because it
the skinny society. Am I part of the skinny society? No, I'm not. I'm still slightly overweight, very slightly. Uh,
It reminds you the payoff. Thousands of girls are living proof.
I mean, it's not even just the girls, to be honest, though. Like, guys like me also living proof that you can, lose weight and things like that, etc., and that calorie deficits work, and that losing weight just generally makes you happier and healthier and look better and everything like that. Look good, feel good type shit.
You can look good, feel good, have
That's what I just said. Hi.
a social life, and still stay skinny.
Yeah, although I'm not skinny and I don't plan to be, but again, it's not even just about being skinny. It's just about being in healthier shape in general and everything like that. But again, like I said, you do not need to be skinny to be in a healthy weight, like at all. I know that's probably why she got banned because she's saying, "Oh, be skinny, be skinny, be skinny." But again, I'm pretty sure that even she would admit, you don't need to be skinny to be healthy or anything like that. But you know,
Being celebrated for it every single day. It's not about suffering, it's about refinement. It's about standards and being surrounded by like minded individuals who see discipline as the ultimate luxury. It's like
right?
networking with skinny people all day long.
Networking
So
with
stop
skinny
overthinking
people.
the effort, start obsessing over the payoff. Because once you realize how good it actually feels to actually win for yourself and within yourself, you will never want to go back.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like, I don't want to go back to being the 150 kilo, massively morbidly obese guy that I was before because I didn't look good. I didn't feel good inside. I wasn't confident at all. And, again, not that we should be kind of relying on the validation of other people around us and everything like that, but I didn't get any compliments from anyone. No, no fucking women or anything at all would be like, "Oh, you're attractive" or anything like that. And I'm not gonna sit here like I'm fucking God's gift and I'm getting compliments left and right now because I'm just a normal fucking bloke, if I'm being honest. But I definitely have noticed a lot more compliments and everything like that since losing weight. I've definitely noticed a lot more confidence in myself in talking to people and approaching people and things like that. Now I lost weight, just in general, things have gotten a lot better for me. I'm still not perfect. I'm still a little bit shy here and there. I'm not the most confident person on the planet or anything like that, but it definitely helps. And yeah, I just said I don't want to go back to it. And I think most people, once they've kind of had that taste of being a healthier shape, once they've had that taste of looking kind of the best they've been, they don't want to go back to it 100%.
Apply to the Skinny Society applications drop October 20th. Ciao.
Oh my God, that's 2 days before my birthday. Can I apply for the Skinny Society just in time for my birthday? Shit. Nah, I'd immediately get rejected. They're gonna be like, bruv, you're like 93 kilos, you fucking fat bastard. Get off the fucking screen. Oh, but no. Anyway, that was video one. You know what? I don't think it's that bad personally. Like, don't get me wrong. She mentions obviously about being skinny a lot, skinny this, skinny that. Obviously, it's not about just being skinny; it's about being healthier in general. But for the most part, what she said, I completely fucking agree with. If you keep putting things off, if you keep saying to yourself, "This is going to be hard. I can't do this. I can't accomplish this," then you're not going to fucking do it. Let's be for real. Like, I have been doing that to myself my whole fucking life. I've been telling myself I'm never going to be in a good shape. I'm never going to be lighter than this. I'm never going to be this, and that. And again, like I mentioned with academic stuff, I've always been like that with academic stuff as well. I've always told myself I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to pass this. I'm not going to be able to get a good grade and blah, blah, blah. And the minute I just fucking sit down and do it, all that goes out the window and I do all right. I'm not perfect. I still not the greatest when it comes to grades and things like that, if I'm being completely for real, but making the effort, it definitely helps, and it pays off in the end because you get a decent result, right? It's not about being perfect. It's not about getting it completely right on your first try, because you will make mistakes and you will fuck up, but that's part of life, you know. You just got to get in there, give it a fucking try. And if you do it, you do it. You get me? Like, and then from that point onwards, it'll become easier to do it again, type shit. But anyway, enough preaching. That was video one. I wanted to get into another video, a fairly recent one that I watched a couple seconds of. Okay, so this one, Skinny Beach Burger orders. I'm curious to see what this is about because personally, hear me out, right? If she's talking about what I think she's going to talk about, based on what I've seen from a couple seconds of the clip before recording this video, I think she's talking about the changes she makes when she goes out to restaurants to eat a burger or something like that. Which, if I'm being completely honest, hear me out. Hear me out. I think it's completely fucking pointless and a waste of money to go out to a restaurant to buy food if you're just gonna not eat it. I think just it is. It genuinely is. If you're gonna go out to a restaurant, but oh, this burger on the menu, can I like get rid of the bun and put this here instead? In fact, just get rid of that bit completely, and I'll have this instead. And you're paying the same amount of money for it. I'd just rather you go to a fucking supermarket, buy the meat, buy whatever lettuce you want, buy whatever chips you want, just slap that bitch in the oven, put the fucking burgers on the grill, whatever, boom, done. Bob's your uncle, and you saved like fucking 30 quid on a shitty burger, you know. But let's see what let's see this order that she makes there.
Any bitch orders burger edition. We've
Yeah.
done it before, but we're doing it again. Let's get
Come
into
on,
it.
let's get into
Rule
it.
number one: pick your spot. You cannot have it all. You want fries? Fine,
Right.
but then skip the bun. If them both.
I mean, if you're going out to a restaurant and you order a burger and fries, what is the point of ordering a burger and fries if you're not going to eat both of them? Just order one or the other, right? I mean, I don't know if that's what she's trying to say or not, but you wouldn't order both if you didn't want both.
You can have it in small, tiny portions, but that's
I mean, yeah, you can have both in smaller portions or whatever if you're trying to lose weight for sure.
plain the fire. That's not a fat girl matter. For me, the burger bun is a total waste. It's a soggy.
I do like the burger bun though. I think that, not gonna lie, I think that might be my favorite part actually. So I don't know. I agree with this. Like a nice little lightly toasted brioche bun on top of a fucking burger. That shit fucking slaps. Come on now, hell yeah. But go off.
To me, it's disgusting and it literally tastes like sadness. Why would
I don't know. I can't agree with that. I think it tastes like fucking winning. Not gonna lie.
I waste my calories on a bottom bun of a burger that's soaked in grease? Like a wet napkin? No thank you. If you must have bread, like on sandwiches, on burgers, whatever I do, I always take off the bottom bun. I always do it because skinny girls don't eat wet sandwiches.
Skinny girls don't eat wet bread, apparently. I mean, that's the first time I heard of that. I mean, maybe, but yeah, again, it's like I was saying though. I'm probably just gonna keep reiterating this over and over again. Like, I just, if you don't want to eat something, I just wouldn't order it. You know, I wouldn't go to a restaurant and order something if I'm only gonna eat a little bit of it, or at least if I do only eat a little bit of it, I'd ask them if I can take the rest of it home or something like that for the next day at least. But I mean, there are definitely better options, right? You can order, if you wanted a burger and some chips, but you didn't want like the bun or anything like that, why not just get like a steak with some salad on the side and some chips? You know, and I mean, it is beef, it is beef and lettuce and chips. It's kind of like a burger and chips, but with a better quality beef and just without the bun and everything like that. I don't know. Yeah, maybe, but a steak's always good. It's quite lean, good amount of protein, and everything like that. If they absolutely fry it in butter and everything like that, can make it worse calorie wise. But hey ho.
This one I got as buttered lettuce with burger, chic, clean, done. And yeah,
But I mean, yeah, to be honest, I mean, you could do that. I mean, a good kind of lettuce kind of wrap or lettuce burger is not too bad. Some people they get like for example, if you're making like fajitas or something, some people use like romaine lettuce or something like that. They put their chicken and everything inside there, and they use that as like a pseudo kind of wrap. I think, that's not a bad idea either, 'cause it accomplishes the same thing. Don't get me wrong, it's not as nice as having it with a wrap or a bun or anything like that. But if you're genuinely trying to watch your calories and everything like that, it is a good fucking choice, 100%.
I love truffle fries. Anything truffle, I'm obsessed with. I'm ordering at a tart. Truffle is luxury.
I mean, truffle's nice, but a bit overrated as fuck in my opinion. Like for the price that you pay for like truffle shit, it's not worth it if I'm being completely for real. It is good. I do like it. It's good shit. But I don't know, it's a bit overrated as fuck. It's a bit like fucking quinoa or stuff like that, it's like luxury, it's expensive, it's nice, but it's fucking overrated.
How I pick my spots, right? Fries over bun. Always. Remember, you can have it all, just not all at once.
Really, I mean, I'm the opposite if I'm being for real. I do like a good like chip or fry or whatever, but I'd much rather have like a fucking burger or something because I much prefer beef and everything, the taste of meat and everything like that over chips and stuff. But and I'm thinking more about like the protein and everything like that. It's just more kind of nutrients in a burger than there is a load of chips because also burgers also have like lettuce and things like that in it as well. So you got some micronutrients in that bitch as well. Not much, if we're being honest. It's a bit of a stretch, but yeah, I generally would go for a burger more because it's more filling. 'Cause it's got protein and stuff in it. But
And don't negotiate with yourself again. I don't maybe do bun and fries. I don't do half the soggy bread. No, skinny girls don't bargain. Many
skinny girls don't bargain. Okay, hear me out.
choose luxury and we choose portion. We have it dialed. If you want to know how you do this, you do it in Skin Society. Ciao.
I mean, yeah, to be honest, again, I see like no problem with a lot of what she's saying, to be completely fair. Although I do think if you're that strapped up for what you're eating and you're worried about your calorie consumption and stuff like that, you wouldn't be ordering like a burger and fries. You'd be ordering like one or the other, wouldn't you really? Or you'd be ordering something slightly more reasonable. Or again, like I said, in order to save money, you wouldn't be going out in general. You'd be having the same thing at home, but custom made. So you don't have to worry about basically purchasing the same ingredients but getting less out of it. I wouldn't have to worry about, oh, look, I've bought a burger with a bun with a fuck ton of sauce, but I told them to take off the buns and the sauce and everything like that. So therefore, it kind of diminishes the value of it in some ways because you're getting less money's worth, but you're paying the same amount. Because let's be honest, market value. If you go to a shop and buy a pack of buns versus go to a shop and buy a pack of lettuce, what's more expensive? It would be the buns, right? That's a couple pounds. The lettuce is like 80 fucking pence or something like that. It's a couple pennies at most. Yeah, 100%. I don't see that much of a problem with what she's saying. I don't get how this stuff is banned, but again, people eating copious amounts of dog shit food and talking about how being fat is perfectly acceptable and being skinny is bad is perfectly fine on platforms like TikTok. Okay, so I'm looking at another one of her recent videos. So yeah, I saw the first couple of seconds and I thought, this could be an interesting one to talk about. I want to see the rest of what she has to say about it. She kind of talks about, if you want to be skinny and if you're a girl who says she wants to be skinny, there's like a lot of people who are putting targets on your back and everything like that. And to be fair, I kind of agree. Don't get me wrong. It's like I said personally, you don't have to be skinny to be healthy. You don't have to be skinny to be satisfied or anything like that. But if someone wants to be kind of in that supermodel kind of shape or whatever, people immediately kind of look down at them or whatever. So I kind of agree, but we'll see. We'll see.
Just a warning for women who actually want to be skinny. Once you are, it's like painting a target on your back. People will project all the time, oh my god, you must have an.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Again, and the thing is, I do agree. Um, I mean, there are a lot of people in like the supermodel agencies and stuff like that who do have an ED and everything like that. Let's be completely for real. Let's not sugarcoat it. A lot of like these skinny people do have things like that. But at the same time, there's a lot of overweight people who are pointing fingers at these skinny people saying you have an ED, when it's like that's rich coming from you when you are literally the opposite of them. You are massively fucking morbidly obese. You eat a shit ton of food. You are the one who also has an ED. You have an overconsumption ED. Like, let's be for real, you are a hinge eater type shit. So yeah, it's a bit silly. Like, especially when it comes from people who are overweight. When it comes from normal sized people or whatever, it can be a bit like, okay, whatever. But when it comes from people who are overweight, when typically it is a lot of overweight people who come for skinnier people, from what I've seen in my own experience, it is a bit rich.
You're unhealthy. You look disgusting. Rarely they will admit that you look good. But here's the truth.
That's true.
Since releasing my excess weight, I have never felt lighter, calmer, or healthier. If being skinny is so bad, then why do I feel so good and the best I've ever felt?
Again, I ain't mad at people if they want to be that kind of size or whatever. Like, to be honest, depending on how tall you are, everything like that, it might not even be that unhealthy. If you're like fucking 4'11", you know, like 40 something kilos, then that's probably not that bad, you know, if we're being for real. But say if she's like closer to 6 foot tall and she's like 40 something kilos, and that is quite bad. That type of thing. It's all about like composition and proportions and everything that compared to your height and your recommended weight and everything like that. And it's all dependent on the person at the end of the day, right? So some people at her weight might feel completely energized, might feel great, they might feel like they look and feel the best they've ever felt. But another person might be that weight and be like, yeah, I don't really like this too much. I prefer to have a bit more muscle. I prefer to be a little bit bigger. I prefer to have a little bit more body fat on me and everything like that. Just completely fine. It's all down to the individual at the end of the day.
I don't cope with food. I don't carry around stored fat.
I mean, that's the good thing as well. We don't want to be coping with our issues with food and everything like that. Trust me, that's how a slippery slope begins. Fucking hell, that's how you get to 152 kilos at like 23 years old, and you're depressed and miserable, and you look like shit and everything like that.
Stored emotions or stored anxiety. I released it. And
Fair
that's what
enough.
actually makes people jealous. Not just the body, the mental strength it takes to deal with life without overeating. So if you've lost
Yeah,
weight and feel like everyone's against you, it's probably because they are. But that's
I mean, I don't know. Probably not entirely true. I typically think a lot of the other people who are against you when you are overweight and have lost weight and everything like that, or even if you're not overweight and lost weight, is generally, again, people who tend to be on like the more kind of fat acceptance side. I think most normal people, if you're overweight and you lost a bit of weight, they'll be like, yeah, that's cool. Even if you're like an average weight, but you lost little bit more weight and became kind of more skinny, I think an average person wouldn't really give that much of a shit if they're being for real. I think it is mainly a lot of like the fat acceptance types and everything like that who get kind of more wound up about it, from my own experience anyway. Or I don't know why, but people just seem to be a bit kind of precious about weight and things like that when they're obese. They just fucking can't stand to see other people lose weight and get healthier and everything like that, from what I've noticed. I mean, to be honest, again, I don't see how this is that problematic. I mean, I get it, you know, what a lot of people could say, oh, but you know, like teenage girls, they see this and they see someone who's like, oh, being skinny's good, and then they get into a slippery slope and they develop EDs. But the thing is, you could say that, and you know, to a certain degree, that might be true. But then again, like I said, it's hypocritical because you have the opposite side going on. You have these obese influencers doing the exact opposite, being like, oh, it's completely fine to be a fat fuck, it's completely fine to overeat, it's completely fine to do fucking, I don't know, mukbangs and stuff like that, and potentially get into an early retirement, as I like to say again. But for some reason, that's fine. But telling people it's okay to be skinny as well is like not fine. So you run into a slippery slope where either none of it's okay or all of it's okay. So let's be for real here. I don't see too much of a problem with what she has to say realistically, and it's not even like she's promoting unhealthy behavior. It's not like she's saying, "Oh, you see, skinny bitches, we don't eat food. We only eat apples and cigarettes," or anything like that. No, she's literally just saying, if I go out to eat, you know, I might choose between a burger and a fries, and if I want to have both, what I'll do is I'll substitute out the bun and get some lettuce, and then I'll probably eat this amount of fries. You get me? Like, I don't think it's that bad, and I don't think it's that unhealthy. She's not saying, "Oh, I survived off a tin of tuna and an apple every day," or like Christian Bale or some shit like that. It's nothing that bad. But again, we have the fat acceptance side. We have that kind of side, which is completely alive and, well, I wouldn't say thriving, but it's still alive. It's kind of dying out a little bit, but it's still alive on TikTok. Um, and we have these generally women going out saying to other women that it's fine to be fat, and as soon as you lose weight, you're to us, that type of shit. Yeah, I think, again, like I said, either all of it's okay or none of it's okay, on platforms like TikTok personally. But no, genuinely, I don't think this is that bad. If we're gonna criticize one thing, it would definitely be the kind of overemphasis on skinny, skinny, skinny. Again, like I said, not everyone has to be skinny. You don't have to be skinny to be happy. You don't have to be skinny to look good. Not everyone as well, depending on your proportions and your height and everything like that, are built to be like ridiculously skinny, kind of supermodel size or whatever the fuck. You get me? Like, certain people can get away with it, not everyone can. Some people are broader, some people are taller, everything like that. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, some people aren't born to be skinny because metabolism and genetics, blah, blah, blah. Because everyone can be skinny, regardless of their build, but it doesn't look right on everyone, right? So like a guy who's quite tall, quite stocky, quite broad, I think it looks weird when like a guy who's like 6 foot fucking seven, like basketballers and that, who are like ridiculously skinny. I think it looks weird. But if you're like, I don't know, 5 foot 5 and you're a bit skinny, everything like that, it probably looks a bit more normal compared to someone who's over 6 foot. Again, it's like I said, it's all about size, proportions, and everything like that. But anyway, I'm waffling now. I'm kind of ranting. I don't think this is that bad. I don't think she's that awful, if I'm being for real. From what I've seen, again, there are some things that I don't agree with. There are some things where I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. I'm not going to sit here and glaze her, I'm not trying to shoot my shot or anything like that. Or, I'm not trying to fucking be a bum licking glazer or anything like that, but I think that from what I've seen, it isn't too awful. Could there be things that are not ideal here and there? Yes. No one's perfect at the end of the day and everything like that, blah, blah, blah. But generally, I don't have that much of a problem with it. I don't think it's that damaging or bad at all, and I don't think it should be banned off of TikTok. And again, the fat acceptance stuff stay up. Either all of it should be banned or none of it should be banned. Let me know what you think and everything like that in the comments. Again, this is something new I'm covering here, so forgive me if it's not like perfect commentary. I'm treading on new grounds here. I've never really talked about like the kind of skinny side or anything like that. I've only ever talked about the fat side because it's something I'm familiar with. I've never been skinny. I've never even been an average weight, if I'm being completely for real. I've always been overweight or morbidly obese for most of my life. So yeah, do let me know again your thoughts and everything like that. But yeah, I really appreciate you for tuning in. You look wonderful, you look amazing. You don't need to be skinny to be healthy, you don't need to be skinny to be happy, and everything like that. Anyway, take care of yourselves. See you later. Have a good fucking day, and I'll see you in the next one.